Hey, what's going on, guys? And in this video, we're going to be reacting to SEO Is Dead in 2024 by Mike Gastin. So let's get into it.
I want to talk today about SEO and the fact that SEO is dead in 2024. And this is not...
Disagree, but let's see what his reason is. Actually, I think I can predict exactly what he's going to say. He's going to blame AI for SEO being dead, and he's not going to talk about that there are subsets of SEO. SEO is dead with traditional blog style websites that actually just have written blog post type content. You can kind of make that argument because people can just pump out a bunch of stuff with AI. There's a lot more to SEO than just those types of websites, right? Local businesses, Etsy, right? Amazon, eBay, website directories where you can have products listed in, these kind of e-commerce giants. You need to be able to use SEO to actually get your products to show up. Again, local SEO is easier than it's ever been. So I'm pretty sure he's not going to touch on those types of SEO, but let's see what he has to say.
An exaggeration. I'm going to tell you why I think that's the case. And I'm going to share with you what you can do about it, especially if you're a business, a service, you've got some type of income stream that relies on SEO content, driving traffic to your site and helping you make a living. I'm going to tell you what you can do about this. Big changes are...
Well, one other thing I want to mention here is that you should never just rely on one traffic source. This is a mistake that I made when I first started out, and I see a lot of people making. This is literally why I'm doing YouTube now too. Because if you rely on one traffic source and something happens and you get screwed over, and maybe it's your fault, maybe it's not. A perfect example of this is you hear people get banned from Facebook ads all the time. Right? Regardless of what traffic source you're using, you're at the mercy of some company, right? Facebook, Google, right? Whatever it is, but I digress.
Coming to search, they're going to affect us all, both as users and as business people that are trying to take advantage of SEO. But especially, like I said, if you're a business, a service, a product, a brand, and you're relying on traffic, you're relying on getting found, you've got to pay attention to this. And there are some people talking about, but honestly, not many people are talking about it. The ones that are, I think, they're underestimating the actual impact. Oh, yeah, it's changing. It's not going to be that bad. So let's talk about what's going on here. First, let's take a look at how SEO has pretty much worked up until now. Now, if you're my age, you remember things like keywords back in the day when Google was kind of early days. You may even remember some.
The thing is keywords have kind of transitions into search terms, but this is still very much relevant and applicable, right? We're still trying to figure out what people are typing in and creating content around that. I've talked about in the past about how opinion pieces have now become the best type of content because people just like hearing people talk. Literally what he's doing right now is making an opinion piece, right? Because if people agree with you, they'll like it. And if they don't agree with you, they'll get pissed off. And that's actually good because it's engagement, right? Because they'll start commenting and stuff. So opinion pieces are really good.
Something like Alta Vista, but Google would rely on keywords. Essentially, if you were a pet shop, you might write an article about goldfish because that's one of the things you're selling, and you would just stuff as many keywords as you could.
Notice how every SEO book and guru focuses on the pet shop example for some reason. I've heard that a million times, and it's just really interesting that that's always the thing.
Put in that first paragraph. And the idea behind that was then Google would search and would say, oh my gosh. So you might write a piece that's if you love goldfish, then we have goldfish that are unique amongst the goldfish world. And for goldfish lovers, it just would say goldfish 30 times. And the idea was that the algorithm would go,
well, now that's keyword stuffing, right? And if you do that, you're going to get penalized because it's artificial and search engines don't like that. So you don't want to stuff a million keywords to your content. It's just bad.
Here's a wonderful article about goldfish, this keyword. And so you go in there and somebody else goes in and types because they want to get a goldfish, and lo and behold, your content would show up because keywords. That's evolved. That's old school. Now it's about semantic search. And essentially, Google has tried to understand intent. we speak in certain ways. So I might type into Google. I don't type by keyword anymore. I might say, what time?
Well, exactly, right? Is a lot of people just hold their phone up and they use the assistant app, right? And they just say to their phone, hey, best pizza place near me. And then that will pop stuff up. That's just how people do it now.
There's lots of SEO gurus out there. They're all teaching, how to take advantage of keywords and semantic search and how to rank. You may be paying people $5,000, $25,000 a month to make sure that your site is optimized.
Okay, if you're paying, you're either a very big business if you're paying $25K a month. That's ludicrous. A lot of the people in some of my SEO Facebook groups or the courses that I teach, they're charging like $500 to $1,000 for small businesses. I actually think people should focus on small businesses because there's more small businesses than there are big companies. So you're actually better off having multiple clients than losing one client who you are making 5,000 above, like this guy was talking about. It's just a dangerous strategy. So you want to have more clients that are small business, in my opinion, moving forward, but that's kind of separate to what he's saying. So let's keep going.
Optimize that they're creating content for you so that you can get customers in. Very common thing to do. Lots of SEO kind of gurus, experts, businesses out there. But one of note that I've been impressed with through the years, and they're not an agency that you would hire, but they were teaching on SEO, is Income School.
Okay, so I went through Income School's Project 24 back in like 2019, I think, 2018. And the idea is that they were teaching, it was two guys at the time. There was Rick and I don't remember the other guy's name. And they were basically teaching people how to make money sites with affiliate products. And they would teach you to get, I think it was like up to like 70 blog posts or something like that. And then, you just start getting traffic and stuff. AI has made that very difficult because you just have so much competition. Basically teaching people how to make money sites with affiliate products. And they would teach you to get, I think it was like up to like 70 blog posts or something like that. And then, you just start getting traffic and stuff. AI has made that very difficult because you just have so much competition. I think things have changed. So I get what he's saying, but I think there's still some value in some of the things that they were teaching when it comes to like structuring and creating content. I just think you're better off doing, like videos now, which is why I'm starting the YouTube channel and doing that type of thing instead of, blog posts type stuff.
And they had a really good key insight about Google. And it wasn't that this was secret. They weren't the only ones to discover this. But what Income School kind of latched onto, what they realized was important, and Google had stated this themselves, that Google wants to keep users on the SERP, the search engine result page. The results, when you type a search in, the SERP is what.
That's kind of not true. Because what happens is Google looks at user kind of behavior and user signals to actually determine what websites are authority and high quality and what websites aren't. And so the way Google looks at things, and they're able to tell this, by the way, by looking at Google Analytics. Because if you have Google Analytics installed on your website, they're gathering data about how users behave on your website. But Google also has manual reviewers that will manually go to websites and look at things and navigate to different pages. But what he's saying is kind of not true, because the way Google has kind of always determined if a result is good is if people go to that website, they hang out there for a bit, and then they end their search. That sends Google a good signal that like, hey, this website solved the user's problem. It answered their question. The content was good. It was relevant to what the user was looking for. This website's good. Whereas if a user went to a website, then went back, then went to another website in that same search results page or the SERP, what that told Google is that the first result didn't actually answer the user's question. And this is why people like Income School would teach you want to also cover different associated or relevant questions inside your content as well. So when you're writing a piece of content, they would teach you that okay, you've covered the question. What additional questions is a person going to have? And then they would tell you that you'd want to also cover that inside your content as well. So that's kind of something that is not exactly true. Google doesn't actually make money by people being on their page. Google makes money by people clicking on the ads on their page, by advertisers giving them money, right? And
it pops up all the results. They wanted to keep the user on the SERP as long as possible. Well, why is that? I mean, the reason would be is because that's how Google makes money. Google makes its money from advertising. And
yes, when people click those ads is when they charge their advertising clients. So kind of true, kind of not true what he's saying.
Longer it can keep the user's eyeballs on its page, the more it can sell advertising, the more it can charge for it, the more valuable that becomes. And so what Google was doing was trying to keep people on the SERP as long as possible. You could see examples of this. You might type in a question like, what's the weather today? And Google would answer it themselves. They wouldn't.
So what he's talking about is search snippets. So Google would actually start to pull information from other sources and show it at the top of search. And again, that was to answer the user's question. It's not to keep people on Google at that time. It's to answer the question so they leave, right? So I think he's misunderstanding that about SEO.
Wouldn't send you somewhere. They wouldn't send you to the Weather Channel. They'd answer it themselves. Maybe you're interested in booking a flight somewhere. Well, they would give you flight info. Maybe you were trying to find certain kind of business near you. Well, they give you business listings. Maybe you're trying to buy a new monitor for your computer. Well, they give you options to buy monitors with pricing and photographs, almost like you're on Best Buy's website. So Google was doing all these things to find ways to keep you on the site as long as possible. Now, one of the things that they did that was the holy grail for SEO experts and businesses was the snippet.
Exactly. This is exactly what I was talking about, was the snippet.
The snippet is that chunk of text at the top. Often it's larger and it's answering a question. You might ask, how do I remove paint from my hardwood floors? I'm making this up off the top of my head. I don't know if that's in the snippet, but then Google would have a snippet. What they would do is they would search the internet. They'd find the best ranking article, the article they thought was the most relevant, and they would take a snippet from that article and they would publish it. So it would be all nice and big. It would be the answer that you're looking for. And right underneath it would be the link to your website.
Snippets are actually a problem because sometimes they wouldn't even have a link to your website and people wouldn't click it, even if it did. I remember this vividly, people panicking over snippets, right? Because while they were showing up, they weren't getting traffic to their website, and then their monetization that they were doing wasn't actually happening. So a lot of people in the SEO, and more importantly, like kind of the blog ownership community, did not like snippets at first. They hated snippets.
Right. Assuming that's your website to your hardware store, let's say. So the snippet became the holy grail, and folks like Income School would teach how to optimize for that. And if you're paying an SEO firm or expert, they're often trying to help you gain the snippet. So because you become better than number one, like when you've got the snippet, you're at the very top of the pile and you get people to your site.
It would give you authority and stuff, which is why people wanted the snippet, which is why people are aiming for it. Major complaint I have with this video is that we're 7 minutes in and he didn't actually answer the title of the video. Or like, why is SEO dead, right? Like he didn't even talk about that, right? Let's keep going.
The game. AI has entered the chat. You got ChatGPT, Bard, Gemini, Copilot, Grok, all these AI products from different companies. But AI is in the mix now. And the initial reaction, especially amongst SEO gurus, has been euphoria. And it's a huge mistake. It's idiocy, but it's been euphoria. Oh, with AI, I can create thousands of articles in seconds. I can flood the internet with content. I can use AI to generate content. I can use it as a research partner to do all the heavy lifting. I don't have to do anything. I can use it to come up with ideas. I can use AI to write my subject lines and really.
The thing is, and I've talked about this, my most popular blog post to date is why you shouldn't be scared of AI as an SEO, or it's named something like that. It's on the local Rank Ninja site if you want to check it out. But something I talk about in that is that in the future, this is kind of my prediction, and I'm talking long term, I'm not talking short term, is that human content is going to become rare. It's going to become kind of this commodity where if you do it, you're going to get comments on YouTube like, oh, wow, this is actually human made. Wow, I can't believe you did so much work. This is where we're headed in the long-term future. Again, this is years, right?
Kind of market, if you will, out there now of gurus selling folks on how amazing AI is for
Well, it's the exciting shiny bullet tool, right? When I was in the make money online niche, which I quit, and that's a long story. And if you've been through my courses, you know that story. People would always sell people on this shiny tool that'll get you traffic and make you money. When in reality, tools don't do that. It's work and consistency and understanding.
see AI and search. It's a natural solution. AI is a natural solution for search. And this to me,
Oh, something else I want to talk about with AI is that it's not killing SEO, right? It's just as SEOs, instead of having to appeal to like an algorithm in Google, we just have to appeal to the AI, right? Because like ChatGPT, for example, right now searches the web and brings back info. So what we're going to end up having to do is instead of appealing to Google's algorithm, we're going to have to appeal to AI algorithms. So it's literally going to be the same thing. It's just going to be a different set of parameters, and it's probably going to be very close even to what it is now. So AI is not going to kill SEO.
me is a massive mistake. It's a massive mistake because what these people are doing is they're excited in the moment. They're not looking forward as to where this is going. And you can see where.
Notice how whenever people talk about the future and looking forward, it's always fear. It's always, oh my God, I'm doomed. You know, people have been scared of nuclear war and like extinction events for forever, right? You guys remember when it was like 2012, the world was going to end? And like when the year turned to 2000, right? Like people, I think a lot of people are naturally just programmed that way because we used to be hunter gatherers, right? We're mammals, right? I think people I think we are kind of instinctually scared of the future. And I think people apply this to everything, and now it's being applied to SEO right here. And I think that that's not true.
Big mistake to use AI for search ranking. And if you're doing it, if you or your marketing team or the internal discussion.
See, but that doesn't mean SEO is dead. It's just don't hop on an overhyped bandwagon, right? And again, there's some useful applications for AI where it's not going to kill your SEO, right?
Now remember, Income School's key insight is that Google wants to keep users on the SERP as long as possible. That's how they make their money.
Again, that's not how they make their money. He said that multiple times, like he's trying to convince people, but that's not how Google makes their money. Also, it seems like he's really mad at Income School, and I know they charged a lot of money for some of their courses. Like, if I remember correctly, I think they were like ridiculously expensive. So it might just be that he's a dissatisfied Income School student. But I don't think it's fair to bash Income School because they really did teach something that was working. A lot of people who make courses, and I know this because I also make courses, obviously, don't care about their students and don't actually try to put together a comprehensive resource. Whereas Income School did do that, and I'm not affiliated with Income School. I bought their course a lifetime ago. I mean, like a long time ago. Again, it was like 2018, 2017, 2019. It was somewhere around there. So I kind of disagree with, it seems like he's just very mad at Income School for some reason. And, I can kind of understand it because things have evolved, but that's also just kind of the nature of digital marketing in general, right? Is that things change and you kind of have to keep, up to date with it, right? There are some things like local SEO that don't really change that much, right? In my opinion. But, you know, I don't think it's fair to be mad at Income School when they did nothing wrong. And, you know, when they did create, their course, you know, it worked back then, right? I remember seeing people in the group that, you know, they would do stuff and it worked. And like people were talking about how they're making money, people who actually bought the course. So I don't know where this hatred for Income School is coming from, but it is interesting that he's obsessed with them.
That's how they make their money. And see, in the past, Google needed us to make that money. They needed you. They needed your content because what they would say is like, look, we're not in the content creation business. That's you. We don't.
Google's in the advertising business and they still do need you, whether it's as an advertiser or whether it's your content, because again, they make billions of dollars from people doing that, from people searching their website as a user and clicking on content and sometimes clicking on ads. So that hasn't changed. They still need people, whether they want to admit it or not. And I know sometimes Google doesn't act great and it doesn't treat its clients great, especially Google Ads clients. And that's a video for another day. I think they have some very evil practices and I think they've hurt a lot of people. I think every big tech company is evil in its own way, and I'll make a video talking about that. But this is separate from what he's saying.
I don't have anything to sell other than advertising. So here's what we're going to do. You create the content. You populate your websites. You let us search those things and catalog them and index them.
They still do
we'll
that.
give you tips on how to take advantage of the algorithm. And what'll happen is we'll get everybody to come to our website, but we'll do it by offering your content. It's a win-win. We get them all to our website, and then we can sell them advertising. We're not selling, we're selling advertising to the advertisers. We can use that audience to sell to our advertisers. And in return for you helping us by providing all this great content, thank you very much, we'll give you exposure, which means people will go to your website. They'll click through and go to you, and then you can monetize them. You can do whatever you want. You're going to love all the traffic you're going to get. In fact, we'll give you a free tool called Google Analytics that will let you see all that traffic and where it's.
This is still all a thing. It's not like it's gone away. He's kind of implying that this isn't the case, but it's very much still the case.
It's coming from. We're working together. It's us. We're a team, me and you. This is Google speaking to you and I now. So that was kind of Google's agreement with us. But the fact is, now with AI, things like Gemini, which is Google's version, you got Copilot, you've got Grok on X, Twitter, you got ChatGPT. Google doesn't need you anymore.
They still need their users. They still need people that are showing up in Google SERPs, right? It's just, it is what it is. It hasn't changed, dude. We all do Google searches all the time still. So it hasn't changed. And again, I know people that avoid asking ChatGPT for info and they Google themselves. So again, just big disagrees here.
Doesn't need you anymore. Its AI can answer all the questions. If a user comes with a question.
What he's not understanding is that its AI can't send people products. Its AI doesn't place orders for people. People are still going to go to e-commerce websites, right? People are still going to go to other websites because the reality is that not everyone wants that short thing that the AI spits out. And again, that Google's Gemini has been wrong so many times with the information that it spits out. Right? Where again, they've gotten hit with lawsuits and stuff, right? So the thing is like, it's important to understand that people, want all sorts of other stuff. They want long form content. They want infographics. They want all these things where the AI doesn't spit that out. So
its AI can answer. Now you can argue, but Mike, the AI answers aren't that great and they make all kinds of mistakes and it sucks. And yet that's today. You're living in alpha world, right?
Again, though, this is going to be a long time. I mean, most experts, talk about how AGI isn't coming, artificial general intelligence, where AI will be able to come up with new ideas, right? Because I'm fascinated by that. And I've looked into the expert estimates as to when it's coming. It's coming in our lifetime, but most experts agree it's decades away. So, I kind of, again, disagree with that. And even when that gets here, when AGI gets here, everything's going to change, but SEO isn't going away anytime soon. We're a long ways away from AGI, right? And the other thing is that, again, even if it produces accurate answers, it can only do so much, and there's still so much people are going to need where they're going to have to go to multiple websites, right? Google isn't going to do everything. And I don't think that's what they want to do. Now they have done a lot of stuff. They have a ton of different products, Google Voice, Google Fi. I literally have my phone through Google, right? Google's phone service. But, again, Amazon is huge, right? It's another website, right? People go to other websites for things like e-commerce. So, and that's just one example I'm giving.
Essentially, you want to see, when we go to a search engine, you look at the top of the page where the SERP is, you can see the SERP, but what's happening now is that Google more and more is giving Gemini answers for the SERP. Instead of taking my content or your content and serving it up as number one, Google is saying, hey, look, Gemini's got the answer. You want to know?
So that's true. And what he's talking about is when you do Google search, Google will have its AI fill out a snippet and pop up instead of an actual like snippet pulled from a website. But again, snippets aren't everything. And, you know, you can still have people that aren't gonna, I know a lot of people who literally just ignore the AI snippet with Gemini and just keep scrolling, right? And then go to the first website. So, that's not killing SEO.
Know how to bake brownies. I'm just making this up. I don't know if that'll be a Gemini result. Here's the answer. And you can see now there will be underneath it, some links to websites, et cetera, that you can go check out on your own. But essentially Google is saying, we'll take the SERP from here. They're experimenting with it right now, but this is where it's.
But again, the thing to understand is that Google doesn't actually make money by people being on their SERP. They make, and this is what I think this guy isn't understanding, is that Google makes money by charging their advertisers, right? And they charge their advertisers when someone actually clicks on your ad in the SERP and then again goes away from the SERP. So Google makes money when people go from the SERP to another website. And that's why SEO isn't dead, because that's how Google generates billions of dollars of revenue. So I just scrolled down. This top comment summarizes this so well, which is that I've heard SEO is going to die every 6 months for the last 12 years. And this is really true because a lot of people have said this forever, right? Because and I've talked about this in some of the courses where you want to be opinionated. I think I said it earlier in this video. I think that like he has some points, but I don't think that like this guy is seeing the full picture, right? And I think that I'm not saying this to bash him. I'm sure he's got some great advice in his other videos, but YouTube's about reaction content, right? So I'm not trying to attack Mike or anything. I think this is a good video, but I think that he's convinced SEO is going to die just based off of Gemini. And I think that's incredibly short-sighted. And I think that he's missing the bigger picture. SEO isn't going to die. And in fact, I'm going to kind of support my claim before I end this video with actual statistics and data instead of just saying this because this guy is just saying stuff, right? Throughout the whole video. I don't even think he shows anything on screen. No, he doesn't, right? So I'm actually going to show you some things. Okay, so I actually pulled up some results here. I typed in SEO industry, will it grow in 2025? And the first result, which is the AI result, sure. But right here, according to recent market research, the SEO industry is projected to experience significant growth, with estimates showing a global market size expected to reach around 143 billion by 2030. So they're growing by 8.3%, and you can see the graph is actually going up. So SEO is projected to increase in market share, not decrease. Now, I came here to research and markets, which was one of the first results on Google, just so that we're not, again, relying on the AI answer. And you can see here that by 2028, it's going to almost double. It's going to go from 88 billion to 170 billion. Let me make that a little bit bigger. So again, multiple websites are saying this, right? And these guys just, again, these guys are experts in market data, right? And they're saying that it's going to increase. So, SEO is not dying anytime soon. And if you believe that SEO is dying, you're going to get left behind because you're going to stop doing something that gets results. Okay. So you can't believe everything you see on the internet. And it's unfortunate that if we type into Google SEO is dead or into YouTube, it's unfortunate that if we type into YouTube SEO is dead, his is the first video that shows up because it's not true, right? The things he's saying aren't true. And it's incredibly short-sighted advice. People who are considering whether to learn SEO or not, or whether to pursue it or not, might type something like this in. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is they're going to end up not pursuing SEO because of this video. And they're actually going to get kind of taken for a ride where they're not going to get the traffic and sales that they could get by implementing a proven marketing channel that, again, is expected to grow by 2028. So just something to keep in mind. Again, I'm not trying to create drama with Mike Gastin Although if it happens, more views are more views, right? This is something people don't understand is, I do think drama is a little toxic. I'm not trying to do that. I think he has some good points. So if you want to learn proven, powerful, and efficient SEO, I have more videos on my channel, and I also have courses on my website. You can go to localrankninja.com and click on courses to get access to those. But until next time, like this video if you liked anything I had to say, and hey, dislike it if you disagree. It's totally fine. Engagement's engagement, right? Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with Mike? Do you agree with me? What do you think, right? Maybe you're on the fence and you're not sure. And until next time, be safe, and I will upload a video soon, again, to you.